only thing keeping me back from starting it has been the fact that I want to talk about it in this segment and not as a actual new project in my in my project bag. So I don't know, good reason, I don't know, you be the judge. Hello, my name is Michelle and this is Michelle's Fiber Studio Podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 30th, and this is episode number 47. Welcome, welcome. If this is your first time joining me, well, thank you so much for checking me out. And if you're a returning viewer, I thank you so much for coming back. I will note that I probably should have noted this last time, but I'm celebrating my podiversary. Is that a thing? Is that what we still call it, podiversary? But it's the 1 year anniversary of when I launched my podcast. I actually recorded my first episode, I think it was April 15th or 17th, so, you know, a week or so ago, although I didn't officially launch the channel until like the first week of May or so when I had like 3 episodes done. But regardless, it has been a full year and I can't even believe it. But I have so much to talk about today. It has been a little over 2 weeks since I recorded and I've got lots and lots to share. So without further ado, let's quickly talk about Marta and Marta's knitting attire today. I know this one should be familiar because I knit it all last summer, but that is my Feel the Breeze shawl by Jennifer Weissman. I knit it last winter into late spring. I started it on February 20th and I completed it on June 12th. It is done in Miss Bab's Yummy 2-ply, and the colors are Tempo, which is this darker color here, darker teal, it's the color that's in between, and then Porto is the set of mini skeins of all the colors in between. So that is what Marta has on. I have lots and lots of project updates, including some things on my blogging board, so let's get started. Well, I have not one but 2 finished objects to share today. So let's start with the first one that I feel like has been so long coming. Oh my goodness. I finally finished my fingerless mitts, my Good Time fingerless mitts. These are a free pattern by Melissa Woods. I knit them to match my hat. I'm not going to put on my hat, but I will show you the hat again. So I knit them to match the hat that I made and I finished back in March. But look how cool they are. I love them. Oh my gosh, they came out so good. I got nervous that I was going to run out of yarn, and so I added in another color. I added in this purple, this amethyst heather, which is actually Knit Picks Swish DK. It was a little leftover ball of yarn that I had. And it's a good thing I did because look, that is the sum total of my leftover yarn between the 2 projects. So I knit it down to the wire. The yarn itself is by Knitted Wit DK. It is 100% superwash merino, and Acadia National Park is the colorway name. Of course, Acadia being the national park that we have in the state of Maine. And so when I saw that kit, it was a kit that included the hat pattern at my local yarn shop back in February, I was kind of smitten because we have spent a lot of time as a family in Acadia. Not as much recently, but over the years, every year we had a big camping trip up to Acadia. So I'm pretty pleased. It's kind of really a fun set. So my hat and my mitts are finally done. I have my cast on date for these mitts of March 8th. And I completed them. I don't have the actual finish date, but it was right after I got home last week. So I think it was last weekend, over the weekend, I think is when I finished these finally. So they took far too long. They should not have taken this long. So anyway, those are finished project number 1. My second project that I finished is my float tote. So this is the 5 skein float tote. I don't know how well, hopefully you're getting a sense of this, that I knit. The pattern is by Natty, and she is doing a free make along. Actually today, April 30th, is the last day, so it's basically done. But I wanted to make another one. I have this one here that is holding my blanket that I made first. This time, that was the peaches and cream or sugar and cream cotton. So it's a toothier cotton. This time what I did for this one is I used the Hobby Lobby I Love This Cotton, which is the yarn that I had gotten last fall. Well, I didn't use this color, but that's the label there for you. The yarn that I got last fall to make the little tote bags for my nieces, and I only ended up making 2 and I ran out of steam. And so when I was thinking about possibly making the float tote, I decided that I would use these up, and I really like it. It's floppier, but you know what? I actually kind of like the fluidity of it. The pattern comes with a tray and then little cups, like the cozies that you can make, that you can actually put snaps in and then snap it in. And the intention for the float tote is when you are working with multiple colors in a project, you set them in there and then you just rotate the tote so your yarns don't get tangled all the time. That's not really how I'm intending to use this or use this or have been using it. So I opted to not create the tray and the cups. And for that reason, I also don't mind that it's a little floppier and it is just a project bag. My Northeasterly is going to be going in this. It's going to be perfect because it is nice and big. So I used a total of 6 different colors, the red and the black, and then I held a green and a gray and the blue and a lighter gray color. I still have a fair amount. Did I bring over the balls? Yeah, so like here's what I have left of the red. The black is a similar amount. I haven't wound off the blue, or my other colors. But here's like what I have left. I don't know if you can tell like kind of how floppy this skein is. That's what I have left of the blue. And then the rest of them are kind of a similar amount. I haven't weighed them yet. I really kind of need to, but I would say I have maybe 25% of the skein left. Guessing totally, but at any rate, yeah, this is my other finished project, and I really am very, very happy to have this one off of the hook. In my project bag, I have several things to talk about. I don't really know where to begin. How about I pull out my husband's Musselburgh hat? It's coming very slowly. Here's the yarn for it. So you can see that cake is finally, it's getting smaller. And here's what I have for the hat. So my markers are here. Let me interpret what I've got going on. So the last time I podcasted, I was here. And then from this point here, I measured and I still had to do 5 more inches. So I've got another inch beyond that. So I've got about 4 inches to go on this hat. And then I'm ready for the decreases. So I've got to focus on this and get this done because I'm really tired of talking about it and having it sitting here kind of in my queue. I will bring it with me to Bible study tonight for sure. I might be able to get another inch done. And then maybe this weekend I can really give it a push. I brought it with me last week when we were in Washington, D.C. and I dragged it around with me, and my hope was kind of to knit on it as we walked around. And that just didn't materialize. It just, I don't know, didn't materialize. I got nothing better. I did it, I think I knit a couple of times at meals or once when we were in one of the museums, but I just, as a rule, didn't end up pulling it out. And a lot of the times, actually, the other thing that happened was I had it in my backpack and I brought the backpack on the bus, but then I would leave the backpack on the bus when we got to wherever we were going instead of having to like schlep it around and get it through security and all of that. So that was a big piece of why that didn't get taken with me like beyond. I think the bulk of the knitting I probably did was in the bus between the hotel and DC, which was about a 45-minute drive. So at any rate, that is my husband's Musselburgh. Maybe next week I will have that as a finished object for you. Let's see, the next one I have next to me is my Secret Ingredient Make-Along Shawl by Katy DeGroff Knits. This is another one that I'm really getting tired of working on. Trying hard to not lose steam. So the last time I podcasted, I've got a marker here. Was I really not done clue 2? Because that's where that marker is, right there. Did I really not show you guys that? I feel like I was already had started clue 3, but this is clue 3 from the red section, from the red section up. So this checkerboardy or herringbone, that is clue 3. That is the one side of clue 3. So I am repeating that on the other side, and you can see that I've just barely gotten started. If I just sit and work on this, it's probably an hour's, maybe an hour and a half's worth of work to get the rest of this done. I really just need to blow through it and get it done. But then I still have, there's a total of 5 clues. So yeah, it's not moving very fast, but it'll get done. It will get done, and I will keep plugging away, but I have other things I really want to work on, and I'm trying hard to not start them, but I'm really, my resistance is being worn down very fast. So we will see how long I can hold out. As a matter of fact, I have some Project Dream that I will talk about, and to be honest, about the only reason I haven't started it is because I wanted it in my Project Dream section of the podcast and not as a started project. It's the one thing that kept me from starting it. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this one. I like the project, and I'm gonna love having the finished shawl, the finished wrap. It's gonna actually be a wrap. So I just need to keep pushing and get her done. All right, that's that one. Next up, how about we grab my Northeasterly Blanket. That one's here. So this one, you may recall that kind of had a little bit of a setback when I podcasted last month. And I had discovered that I had not spaced out my March colors very well. And I had to rip back like 6 of them. So I think I ripped back all the way to this green one, I think. So it was like 6 colors. No, that's the wrong direction because I did the gold again. Yeah, here we go. This is the side. So yeah, I think I redid starting with this color here, and then I did that one. I know you've seen these colors, but I'm showing you again. But I got them, look, and it lines up exactly where it was supposed to line up. I was checking it the whole way up. So I finally finished that last color in March. I think it was on Saturday, and then I started my April colors, and the first one I only had to do a really small section, but then I did just about all of color 2. I think my leftover yarn just fell, and I've started to pull it out, but it is basically done. So the second color of 12, and of course today is April 30th. I haven't yet gotten my May colors, so I guess I'm technically not behind, but I'm back on track, so maybe I can really push to do 1 color a day, or definitely 1 color. Yeah, if I do 1 color a day, that's 24 colors in a month, and that gives me a little bit of wiggle room to miss a day here and there. So that's probably going to be my goal, so hopefully by the end of May, I can get caught back up. But again, the project is Northeasterly Blanket. It's by Katy Stevens, and the yarn is from Woolen Woman Fibers. It is a DK weight yarn, and it is their Murder She Knit box, club box, which has now, what, 5 months in, 6 months in? I think I'm starting April was my 6th month of colors that is going into this. So every month I get a new box of yarn. I think the pre-orders are open now or opening very soon for next fall's yarn. And I can't remember what the theme is, but they will be doing another blanket next year. So if you have any interest, now is the time to check that out. Okay, and my last project, make sure that yarn got picked up. Oh no, yeah, my last project is my Knit It Down sweater. This one I'm pretty excited about. I've spent a fair amount, actually I got a lot done on it. So let me show you the yarn first, and then I'll show you where I'm at in the project. So here's my yarn. I got it in my cozy. You can see I got a significant amount used in this first skein. The yarn is by Wonderland Yarns. It is her Mary Ann base, which is a 85% 15 superwash merino and nylon. And the colorway name is After the Storm. After the Storm. Yeah, it was a limited edition colorway that was available last fall after the storms that ravaged the eastern seaboard, North Carolina and that area. Wonderland Yarns, who is based in Vermont, did a fundraiser, and the proceeds, or a portion of the proceeds of the yarn sale, went to assist yarn dyers and independent yarn dyers in the affected areas. I can't remember who the owner of Wonderland Yarns is, but in Vermont, a couple of years ago, they had a very similar situation where floods came through in that part of the country, and their studio had damage. And so they had received an outpouring of love at that point in time, and so they wanted to pay it forward, which I thought was super cool. So I got 3 skeins with the intention of knitting a sweater, and so the Knit It Down sweater is what I am knitting. And so here we have what I have. So this rib section here is a collar, and so you can see where my little dinosaur is. That's one of my Yarnables charms, by the way. That's where I left off. So I am like 3/4 of the way through the yoke. I just joined, you can see, just joined right there. So that's in the middle, so it's a V. And I have 9 more increases, I think, to go in the yoke, so about 18 rounds before I will then split off for the sleeves. And I am excited to get to that point and then really be able to give it a good try on, because I am kind of winging, I can't say winging the pattern, I'm following a pattern, but the pattern is written for a DK or worsted, DK weight, I think, yarn. And I'm knitting with a fingering weight yarn. So based on my swatch, I determined that if I knit the largest size, because my gauge is smaller than obviously a worsted weight gauge would net me, if I knit the largest size in the pattern, it should be about the size that I want, which would be about the 2nd size in-ish. So yeah, so I'm excited I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. It seems to be measuring out so far. I'm really quite happy with it. This is a sweater I have already knit once in worsted weight, and I love it. So I've been wanting to knit a second one actually for a while, and I thought this would be the perfect yarn for it. But again, it's fingering weight, so we'll have to see how this works out. So I'm excited to check that out once I get all of my increases done. I split off my sleeves, and then I knit, I don't know, maybe an inch or so. I should be able to try it on and kind of get a really good sense on if it is working or not. But yeah, again, it is the Knit It Down sweater. Did I tell you who it was by? It's by Trapp. It was originally in a Creating Keepsakes, not Creating Keepsakes, this is scrapbooking, Creative Knitting magazine from, oh goodness, way back. The original sweater, I want to say I knit in like 2008 or 2009. So it's an old magazine, and I don't even know if you can get the copy electronically, because I know the magazine is long out of print. So I don't know if you can even get the pattern electronically or not, but that is where it is from. Links for it will be down below in the show notes. Project Dreams. Oh, I am so excited for this next project that, like I said, the only thing keeping me back from starting it has been the fact that I want to talk about it in this segment and not as a actual new project in my in my project bag. So I don't know, good reason, I don't know, you be the judge. But I am going to start another shawl project, and I want to use my Advent, my second Advent. The Beauty and the Beast Advent, which was from Fangirl Fibers. And I want to make the Bahama Advent wrap by Toni Lispey. It is a brand new pattern that she literally just released it on Friday. I have never been on the cutting edge of a pattern release, let me tell you. But I happened to be scrolling through Instagram and her sample came up and I immediately fell in love. She has written it as a gradient. And I just loved the look. Now what is really interesting is that it is Tunisian crochet, which is a new to me crochet. So like I've done crochet for years and years and years. I feel like I might have tried Tunisian crochet at one point in time, but I've never actually made anything significant. So I took a scrap ball of fingering weight yarn. I actually immediately ran out and I got myself a Tunisian crochet hook. There was literally only one that I could get at my local craft store, and thankfully it is the size roughly that I needed. It has a cord here, so that way, because with Tunisian crochet, you work across your stitches and you pick up a loop all the way across, and then you work back and you crochet them off. So you crochet them on, and you crochet them off. So every row is actually 2 rows, back and forth. So I wanted to give it a try and A, see if I really liked the pattern before I committed, and B, see if the hook that I just bought would work, or if I needed to order something online. So here is my little swatch. It's not very big, but it is enough to tell me that I am happy with the fabric, I'm really gonna like the pattern, and I'm very excited. So I have my little basket here of all of my Advents, and over the weekend, I got them strung up here, and over the weekend I sorted them by color, and I've got a nice little fade going on. I got my mom on FaceTime to help me sort out and figure out what colors to put where. And I have my first one all caked and ready to go because you hold it double. So yeah, this one I don't know. We'll see how long I can hold out, but I have a feeling it is going to be a new project pretty shortly. Yarn shelf, I do have a new yarn acquisition, and it is from my, well, I can't really call it a vacation, my trip to Washington, D.C. And one of the places that we went to was Mount Vernon, and of course they have a gift shop. Like, I like everything, everywhere in D.C. there's a gift shop, right? But I bought some yarn. And this is yarn. It is a wool alpaca blend, and it is made from wool from sheep that are on the farm at Mount Vernon. And hopefully that is picking up. I don't know if the alpaca are also from Mount Vernon or not. I don't recall seeing any alpaca, but we didn't really go through the animal barn or around the animals a ton, so it could be that there's some, or it could be that the alpaca is sourced from elsewhere, but I couldn't resist. I thought, I bought that, and I got a sweatshirt, which is also from Mount Vernon. Those were my 2 like souvenirs. So I have no idea what the yardage is in this skein. I would say that it is about a DK weight. Yeah, probably about a DK weight. So if it's an average size DK weight skein, there's maybe what, 180 to 240 yards or so. So I have no idea what I'm going to make. I want to make something special because it is a commemorative yarn for a special trip. So if anybody has any project ideas on what I could make with about 200 yards of DK weight yarn, please send me those suggestions. I know I don't have enough for a shawl. I don't think I have, well, I probably could do a hat, but I don't really want a hat. And yeah, I really don't know what else to do with it. So send your ideas my way. But I thought it was really kind of fun, and I knew that if I didn't get it, I was gonna regret it. So I went back actually afterwards and grabbed it like last minute. So that is the latest on my yarn shelf. Well, that brings me to my day-to-day, which, buckle up, giddy up. It's been a whirlwind, 10 days, or actually it's been a little over 2 weeks, I think, right? So let me take it back to the week before last, which was the week before we went on vacation. We were still in school. On that Wednesday, my social worker and I, who work very closely together, did our last round of classroom lessons in 7th grade. So that was a really busy day. The rest of the week, though, was fairly quiet. As I recall, I actually have literally nothing else written down for those days. So either literally nothing happened or I've just blanked it out and I can't remember. I'm not sure which. But I don't think it was uber exciting because it obviously didn't rise to the top enough to be put into my notes. Excuse me. Grab a quick sip of water here. So the big thing that happened though was last week, which was spring break, April vacation here in the state of Maine. I and my husband actually as well, and two of the teachers from my school took a group of 33 middle school students and 9 parents on a trip to Washington, D.C. And the 4 of us were the official chaperones, but we did have 9 other adults. So we were a group of 46 people heading down to the nation's capital for 4 very, and when I say very, I mean very full days. It was a lot. It was so much fun though. We left our house on Sunday morning, Easter morning, at like 3 a.m., which meant I had to get up at 2 a.m. Because our flight left Portland around, I think 5:40 was the flight time, and we landed in Baltimore around 7:30. And then from there, we were off and running. And then didn't get home Wednesday night. We left Baltimore, the flight left at 9 p.m. And so we got back to Portland and we were pulling in our driveway. It was like 11:30 p.m. at night. So it was 4 like top to bottom days, right? We saw a whole bunch of monuments. We went to the Natural History Museum, the American History Museum, the African American History Museum, the National Art Gallery, National Archives, Arlington, Mount Vernon. We toured the Capitol. Yeah, we did some photo stops outside of Ford's Theater and Library of Congress and Supreme Court, and you name it, we probably saw it. It was jam-packed. I added it all up and I did 63,000 steps over the course of the 4 days and about 26 miles. So our feet every day, we dragged ourselves. We were back to the hotel, like we left the hotel at 8:30 in the morning and we would get back like just before 9 o'clock most nights. So it was very full days and very tiring. What's really cool with the security company, or with the tour company rather, is we had a security guard that was posted in the hotel. So as chaperones, we didn't have to worry about the kids overnight. Once we got them in their rooms at 9 p.m., we door checked and made sure that they were all in there and kind of left it in the hands of the security guard to kind of keep order. But the kids were all good. It wasn't a problem. But it's peace of mind knowing that somebody is patrolling the hallways. We had one of the floors had all the boys, and the other floor had all the girls and women. I was on the floor with the boys with my husband. So they became my like responsibility to door check every night, but it was great. The kids did a good job. They really, for the most part, did a great job of reporting back at whatever time it was that we told them to check in, and they really, really enjoyed it. So it was a lot of fun. Then Thursday, when we got home, my poor sweet husband, of course we didn't get home again, and like I said, till 11:30 the night before, and he was out the door at 7:15 to head down to work. And then got home at 4:30, and we immediately headed back out to drive almost 2 hours north for my son's spring concert at Buck College up in Orono. So we did that and went to that. And then again, by the time we got home, it was 11:15 that night. So we had 2 very, very late nights. I feel like yesterday was the first day that I really kind of caught up with myself. Like it took the whole weekend because it's still, and then Friday I had doctor's appointments and my mammogram, and like, so I had a bunch of running around to do. And then on Saturday, we spent the afternoon, or a good chunk of our day, an hour west of us in Freiburg. Our daughter is getting married this summer, and there was a food tasting at the venue because the chef turned over. And so she invited us to join them as they sampled all the food and kind of helped to determine the menu. So that was a lot of fun, but again, it took up a chunk of our day. We left our house at like 10:45, and we didn't get back to the house at 5 o'clock. So it was just a lot of go, 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 go. Sunday, I pretty much collapsed. And then Monday, we were back to school. And so we kind of, hit the ground running with that and all of the back to school stuff. Today, Wednesday, was the first of the elementary school visits. So myself and my principal and the assistant principal go. We have 6 different elementary schools in our district, and we visit the elementary schools so that we can kind of meet them and introduce ourselves and kind of help them to get a feel and a flavor for what the middle school is like, and hopefully kind of demystify it a little bit. And get them ready to join us in the fall. So we had the first visit of that today. It's one of my favorite things to do. So it was super, super fun. So, and that's it. That is all, which is a lot, I have today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the channel. Also, please leave me a comment and talk to me. I love hearing from you. If you know what to do, I can do with this yarn, send me those suggestions. I will have links down below in the show notes of all of the things that I have talked about. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Knittin Michelle, KNITTINMICHELLE. You can also send me an email at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and happy knitting.